Now, OLTP, we have seen a few examples like the airline reservation or train reservations. So, OLTP systems are online transaction processing systems. OLAP systems are online analytical processing systems. So, we'll try to understand the difference between these two. Let's proceed with the OLTP systems. So now these online transaction processing systems, okay, what are these and how are they useful for us in our day-to-day activities to manage the data? Now imagine that you have gone for shopping. Say you have gone to the DMart, you have gone to DMart for shopping. You purchase a sanitizer there and you stand in the queue to get it billed. Now here the point of sales, POS stands for point of sale. So the point of sale is a counter wherein you are giving that sanitizer and waiting for it to be scanned and the bill is generated. So here when you are waiting there, when your turn comes, the thing is you will hand over your product or the n number of products that you have purchased. And now what the person who is at the billing counter is going to do? That person is going to scan for the QR code or is going to scan for the barcode there or in manually type in the barcode and get the respective amount displayed on the screen. That is amount for that particular product that is going to be displayed on the screen and the same thing is going to be printed in your bill. And also if you have purchased same the product, you have purchased 10 products of the same brand and the same the quantity is more, so it has to be multiplied, right? So now here what is happening is everything, the processing that is happening here is with the help of that system. Now just, it is not the system here. When I say system, it means that it is having a database, it is having access to a database there. All these online transactions, all the queries that are working are with the help of the database that is existing. Now, if I talk about database and if I talk about queries here in relation to that particular uh, DMart or in relation to that store wherein you're trying to bill, what the database is going to have? First of all, the database would have the product ID, it would have description about the product, it would have the product name, and the price for that, and also the number of quantities that are present inside their store there. Then the next thing is when you try to bill there, it has to automatically fetch or retrieve the amount for that particular product and the related, depending on the barcode, it is going to fetch that particular product there. And if you have purchased 10 quantities, it has to multiply into 10, that processing has to take place there and the bill has to be given to you. So these all the things are carried out with the help of that system which is in connection with that database. So here you give the amount to that particular person, the change is returned to you, the processing is done. Suppose you do not want to, you come, you purchase that, and there is another product which is billed, but you do not want to take it now, you want to cancel it. So it has to be cancelled, and again, the respective amount has to be deducted. The product has to be against put back in the database. That is, the entry has to be put in the database that this product is not sold out. It is still present. A quantity has not reduced there. So these all the transactions are happening and they are happening very, very smoothly. The amount of retrieval time that is there is very, very negligible. So here these such kind of systems, these online transaction systems are helping us to carry out our day-to-day operations. For that particular organization, the day-to-day activities would be purchasing, then it would be inventory. So if they're into manufacturing, then payroll, all these things are carried out on a day-to-day basis. So now these such systems which are helping us for the transactions which are trying to capture the data, and wherein the data is, the captured data is stored in the databases and is used again for transactions only, will be called as online transaction processing systems. So here what advantages do you see when you talk about online transaction processing systems? Let us have a look at that. Some examples are also given to you in the last point there, that is airlines, supermarkets, banking, insurance. So all these kind of organizations will make use of the online transaction processing system. So the data that is captured by these is stored in the database. So one last point that is mentioned to you here is some tables are mentioned which could be present in the database. There could be a transactions table, the product master table, there would be the employee details table, so on and so forth. So depending on which organization it is, what database is going to contain, the content of the database will differ based on the organization. So one example here, have a look at it. They have given the product ID, the product name, they have mentioned the data types, and they have also mentioned the constraint for that. So one example, one schema or one structure of online transaction processing systems for the supermarket here. Now, this online processing systems, what all queries can they run? How can they help you? In what kind of different queries are they able to perform? They are able to search for a particular customer's record. How is it possible? Like you have billed and you go back to them and say that this is the bill that I have for the purchased items, and there is some problem with a particular billing amount for this particular product. So what they have to do is they will have to look up in their database where the processing has gone wrong. If the data is not feeded properly, only then the processing is going to be wrong there. So they will have to look up for the unique ID that is generated on the bill, type in that ID and look up for the details. Next thing is, if you want to have a particular product's description and one unit price of that particular product, even that is visible with the help of online processing systems. And suppose in the database, I do not have to tell you much now. You have already worked on databases and you know how can you apply different queries. So if you want to filter certain products whose prices are just above $25, or in the Indian currency, if they have to be above certain amount, so you can apply such queries and get the results there. You can search for a particular product. So basically, when you look at these online transaction processing, you will get an idea that these all are working in terms of the databases. They are storing the records there. They are trying to fetch the records there. They're trying to update or edit the records. They're trying to delete the records. So these operations are taking place, and these operations are nothing but those which belong to a database. And these are just queries. The queries are running, and so that is why the processing is happening very very fast. The next thing is, what are the advantages? If we are able to perform all these queries, then what will be the advantages? Can anyone tell? Can anyone name a few advantages? Since you people have used databases, you people must have also, as a third party or a second party, you have visited these different organizations, you have waited at a billing counter. So you can state or you can think and tell me what could be the advantages of such an online processing system. Let us have a look. Read the slide here. The simplicity here, what it tells. Since these are such systems, or these online processing systems are used by various organizations, so the people or the employees involved will be from the very basic level, and they will go up to higher level. That is, he could be a simple clerk, he could be a cashier who is there at the counter, he would be a customer if it is just the automatic billing machines there, and he could be the manager. So depending on who is the employee who is working there at that system there, he is going to access these systems. So these systems are designed in a very simple manner that they can be used by any customer. No special knowledge is needed or no training would be required. Everything is very easy interface, very easy processing there. So it supports a wide range of users because of its simple design. Next is efficiency. You can see that whenever you stand at the billing counters in the supermarkets, how quickly the items are scanned and how quickly they are added in the table there. and how quickly they are multiplied and the bill is generated. Only if the items that are purchased by the customer are too many, that is when time takes. I mean, time is taken by the person who is there, but the system that is trying to scan and process, that is very very quick. There is, it is not like it is failing there. The accuracy is also good. So here you can see that with these online systems, any operations or any queries such as trying to access reading or writing or deleting the data, all these are happening very very fast. So we can say that these systems are very very much efficient. Next thing, fast query processing. So quickly it responds the moment the person is scanning. At that very second, the amount is displayed on the screen. So what here, the speed, if you talk about the speed when compared to the manual, the person manually when it is done, when it is compared to these online systems or these database kind of systems, it is very very fast. So the transactions are happening very very quickly, and there is no restriction or no limit on the type of transactions, or you can say the data load. Any number of items are processed very very quickly there. Now, in spite of these advantages that are present in these online transaction processing systems, you could also face certain challenges. So what are the challenges that we are going to face? When we talk about database, security comes into picture. When you have a huge data stored somewhere, there is a need for security. So you have two terms here, that is concurrency control and recovery mechanisms. So what is concurrency control? So when we are talking about database and transactions, concurrency is which is happening continuously one after another. That is, they are related. So when you have 10 counters and all these 10 counters are trying to bill, so how difficult, like imagine a situation wherein I'm at the counter number 2 and there is another person who is at counter number 3. So when the items are scanned, when my purchase items are scanned, the bill is displayed on the machine number 3 and that bill is given to the customer who is at counter number 3. So that would lead to so much of chaos. So here concurrency control is such a situation wherein when you are trying to use the database, and when these products, for example, these products are getting billed, the billing is happening there, so they are continuously performing one operation. The operation is that of insertion into the table, into the purchase table. So it should be correct, the accuracy should be correct there. That is security, in the sense they should not try to diverge from their respective queries. It should not be inserted into a different table or into a different database and be displayed at a different counter or to a different person. So we are trying to maintain it. We are trying to lock it, lock it in such a situation that it is in the flow and it does not miss the flow there. Then we have recovery mechanisms, that is, you have studied in the basic database also. You have operations to commit, you have operations to roll back. So in a situation wherein there is some bug or some error and the database has collapsed, so you will have to also think of challenges, that is, how can you recover the data? Because since the data stored is again huge there, so you should think of these circumstances. Then the next one is, these systems are not suitable for decision making. Okay, so why are they not suitable for decision making? If you observe here the example that we spoke about now, they are just performing the operations. They are not taking any decisions there. Like they are able to carry out the activities or these operations or queries with the current data that is available. But if I have to say, see, these OLTP systems cannot answer questions like, suppose a particular product in the supermarket is over, they are running out of stock. So by looking at the database, a person will be able to tell you, like a person, a manager who is working there, that person who is in charge of the stocks will tell you whether a product is over or not, whether you have to get it or not. But these systems, when you try to just perform a query and run the query, and the result that you're expecting is whether the product should be purchased or not, the system will not suggest you. Such queries do not exist. wherein you can write a query and say that let me know whether I need the product is out of stock and let me know whether I need to purchase this product or not. So such things, these OLTP systems will not help you. And they will also not tell you that, okay, a particular, say you have a customer who comes every month. So that say regular, like you have certain shops give you discounts for regular customers who are purchasing only from their shop. And when we talk about OLTP systems, these systems will again not be helpful for you in telling that how much a discount should they offer, because this person has come every now and then, let us give certain discount. You cannot run such queries there. I cannot say select, tell me how much discount I want, and all such thing queries will not exist for these OLTP systems. These systems are designed in such a way that you are able to perform the database operations of insertion, deletion, updation, or just search and retrieve it. But when it comes to decision making, these OLTP systems are not capable of answering such kind of questions. So, what are such kind of questions? They are analytical. You need to analyze it. You need to have a understanding. You need to follow the, I mean, predict on the data which product has been sold, what is the success rate of that product in the market. So there are different systems which will help us to analyze the data and predict, okay, this market is, the product is in demand in the market, and we can order more number of such products because there is a guarantee that the products will be sold. So those products are online analytical systems that we will see. But these OLTP systems are not capable of decision making. They are only capable of running the queries and providing the output based on these queries. So have a look at the next slide, which tells you what queries the OLTP system cannot answer. So if there is a product, you are thinking about introducing a new product, okay, as a manager of that store, maybe you will be able to take the decision. But if I run a query on the database, so again the answer will be nil there. So that is, OLTP systems are not going to help us to suggest what new product should be launched and to which customer segment should it be launched, whether to the senior citizens, or it is for the kids, or for the middle aged, or only for gender based customers, whether only for males or only for females. So such queries the OLTP system cannot answer. It will not be able to tell you how much discount should be given and for which, again, which customer segment it should be given. Then rewarding the most consistent salesperson. Since we are talking about a supermarket and you will have a range of customers there, and for these huge range of customers definitely will require n number of billing counters and n number of salesperson to handle these range of customers. So if we are talking about rewarding, how would you reward a particular employee or a particular salesperson who belongs to the supermarket? As a manager, you can think. So you will say the person who has the salesperson or that employee who has got no complaints against him, who is been able to make more number of sales, who has handled more number of customers in a good way. But if you talk about running a query on the database, because employee details are also stored in the database, so if you think of running a query and expecting an answer from the system, so let the system tell me which salesperson should be awarded. So that will not work with OLTP systems. So this is about OLTP. So here I would like to know if you are having any doubts in the OLTP systems.
No, ma'am.
No, I guess very easy to understand.
Oh,
Some more,
ma'am, no doubts.
some more examples you can tell me for OLTP where you feel, okay, database on a day-to-day activities it is used.
Pharmacy, ma'am.
Pharmacy, yes.
Ma'am, hotel management systems.
Ma'am, booking of
Hotel management,
tickets.
okay. Booking tickets. So these all are running on day-to-day basis now, and the data again generated is huge and it is stored in the database there. So that is all such kind of systems which are helping for day-to-day activities will be called as online transaction processing systems. So